And now, for a review of what's making the headlines in the papers this morning, let's bring back Arise analyst, Dr. Constance Ikoku.
Good morning again, Charles.
Good morning once again.
You know, it's going to be an abridged version of the paper review this morning. Our time is fast spent. To look at the papers with us today, we have Emmanuel Aziken. He is a columnist with Vanguard newspaper. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for taking your time. It's Christmas Day to join us this morning.
Merry
Hello
Christmas.
there, and welcome to the program. We'll begin with this day newspaper. In Xmas message, President Tinubu tells Nigerians to pray for their leaders to serve diligently. The president, in his message, asked Nigerians to remember that their leaders and the troops are serving the country. He offered sympathies to families who have lost loved ones during this period. And he said, and I quote, "Christmas embodies the fulfillment of divine prophecy and symbolizes the triumph of love, peace, and unity. It is a poignant reminder that light can emerge even in the darkest of times, bringing solace and hope." Light can emerge.
Yeah.
It's been a difficult year.
It's been a difficult year.
Yes.
The president is saying all the right words, apparently, especially after his media chat. In his media chat, he said all the right words. He said some of the right words that should come from a statesman, that should come from a president, engendering hope.
Yes.
But whether those right words in his own configuration, in his own mind and in his own mind frame, whether that is worth the populace need is another thing. Asking us to pray for our leaders,
Yes.
it's enjoined of us as this is a time of Christmas. Christians everywhere are enjoined to pray for their leaders, our president, our governors, and their families, so that they can be in a right mood to give us a positive governance.
Yeah, Charles, yeah.
Well,
Prayers.
you know,
Prayers is not a problem, is it? I mean,
well, prayer is very, very key. However, my own prayer would be that next time around, we'll pray for the kind of leaders we elect. I mean, they are already there. Their characters have already been formed. Definitely, God can always do something for the country, but for the character of our leaders, the quality of leaders, the caliber of leaders we have there, I mean, it will take a miracle for a leopard to change its spots. Unfortunately, it's the kind of leadership we have that has put us in the mess we're in.
yeah, but you know, there's also the fact that the leaders come from the people. So if you want a different set of leadership, then the people themselves also have to behave differently, because eventually they get there.
Very often we have people of noble character contesting elections, but you know what? Most of the time they lose out.
Right.
That is exactly the situation in Nigeria.
Okay, New Telegraph. LPDC rejects Afe Babalola's bid to debar Farotimi. The legal practitioners disciplinary committee says it will not honor the request by Afe Babalola's law firm, Emmanuel Chambers, to practice or to revoke Dele Farotimi's law license over alleged criminal defamation and professional misconduct. We remember that Afe Babalola had taken Dele Farotimi to court over his book, in which he alleged that he defamed his name. Now, this law group says it is not enough to debar him. I mean, it's not going to be easy to do that.
No, because actually the LDPC did say that it is not within its jurisdiction to investigate or to sanction Dele Farotimi, that it is a civil matter. It is a matter that should be handled by the courts. And that is what every reasonable Nigerian thinks, that this is essentially a dispute between two persons. You did this to me, I didn't do this to you. And most people do feel that the state should not be seen to be involved in this matter. Let the two persons go to courts and resolve the issues between the two of them.
The LPDC also said that Dele Farotimi acted in his capacity as an author, and this did not occur in the process of being a lawyer.
Absolutely, and that's what makes me wonder: is Afe Babalola out to destroy Dele Farotimi? Because I mean, he has practically moved heaven and earth, and even as far as we, the ordinary Nigerians, are concerned, even engaged in illegality or actually promoted illegality, to get Dele Farotimi arrested, moved from
Lagos
to Ekiti.
To Ekiti.
Yes.
And then, of course, actively prevented his being released on bail. Now he's out.
He's out,
then
yes.
He wants to ask the disciplinary committee to debar him. I mean, has he committed murder?
Well, it's Afe Babalola believes he has committed murder in tarnishing his reputation. And mark you, there are also other cases that are coming up. People from Afe Babalola's chambers are taking up cases in Abuja, I think in Port Harcourt, against Dele Farotimi.
So it's going to be a long journey.
It's going to be a long journey.
But I think
absolutely.
a lot of people are behind him.
The more it happens, the more popular it makes Dele Farotimi. When this issue emerged, that book sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, the publishers are struggling to keep up with the demand. So who's the beneficiary eventually?
Well, let's see whether our judiciary stands and, redeems itself in this circumstance. Daily Independent, Nigeria on promising path of restoration progress, Tinubu assures. Atiku urges unity, love, calls for sacrifices for common good. Akpabio asks Nigerians to spread love, kindness, and generosity, while the politicians, all of those in authority, are telling us what to do. They can lead by example. They can start by showing that love and simply doing the right thing, can't they?
That is what we expect of them. Leaders should take the position of inspiring hope in the citizenry. You're saying the right words, because these messages they say, sometimes it's often regenerated from last year. So, but we have not seen the kind of inspiring leadership, a leadership from the National Assembly that should inspire hope by you patronizing, buying locally made vehicles. We keep on saying this. Leadership staying in the country to promote the factors of production. Let Nigeria produce so that we can let Nigeria produce, production should be increased, and you patronize locally made goods. Then we don't see this. They prefer to spend their holidays abroad, hospitality abroad. So, but when you see them doing what is right, living according to example, Nigeria will be a better place. That is what we want.
Do you believe we are on a path to restoration, as is being reported?
It will be a very slow path to restoration, the way we are going about it. It will definitely be a very, very slow path, but then at least it's one step forward. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, doesn't it?
It does.
I would like to agree with him that our leaders should also lead by example. We talked about your story, when Nigerians are running abroad. Our leaders also travel abroad. They see what happens there. So, it's supposed to give them exposure enough for them to return and actually, tailor those things that they see there and implement them here to make Nigeria work so that we can attract people instead of exporting people in droves.
Well, isn't it all about vision? So when you look at Nigeria, there are different categories of so-called leaders. There are those that, they have something to give. They come into politics, but they find themselves alone, because it's difficult to swim against the tide if there are not enough of you. And then the person at the top, who is the so-called leader, doesn't have that broad vision of where we're going. And add to the fact that Nigeria is a complex society, we have to deal with the fundamentals of our society before we can make that progress. Do you get what I'm saying? I
get what you're saying. When you say they have that vision, if you have a vision, your vision should begin to translate into action once you come into power. You see, President Trump, once he was elected, he has practically named his cabinet.
Yes.
Almost every one of them. So he now knows, people know from day one.
He knows where he's
going. You understand? But it's in Nigeria you come, you say they are sitting down. You take months to name your cabinet. And that is what got us into this problem in 2015. When the president took 9 months or 7 months to name a cabinet, and it led us into a recession.
That's a long time ago. This president
did the same thing.
Well,
he did the same thing.
He was much
Maybe
earlier than the
first. It took him lesser time, but
it took him time nonetheless.
So the thing again, what's the quality of your cabinet? What do you want to achieve? that's another question, at the end of the day.
But the president has told us that he's satisfied with his cabinet, which is disheartening.
Yes, I don't think a lot of people are satisfied with what is going on. Okay, the Guardian newspaper, Ibadan Stampede, court remands ex-Queen Hamzat principal. A chief magistrate court in Ibadan has ordered that the owner of Ife's ex-wife, Naomi Shiliokuonla, be remanded at Agodi Correctional Center in relation to the stampede that killed over 30 people. They were remanded on a 4-count charge bordering on conspiracy and murder. The 3 defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges. Such an unfortunate situation. Queen Naomi must be thinking, how did I land myself in this?
It is disheartening. Among the charges, he said, you forgot to mention that one of the charges is that she failed to provide adequate security and medical facilities.
She probably didn't anticipate what her
what I'm coming to, the provision of security and welfare is the primary purpose of governance. And this lady, she's been doing it over the years. And now people, because of the harrowing situation in the land, more people came out to take of her benefits. And what happened? The saddening that 35 children died. But the fact is that, is it the duty of the lady to provide security?
She is being made a scapegoat.
A scapegoat. And the thing is now transcending. The Catholic priests and some other officials of the Catholic Church in Abuja, I understand, have also been arrested, apparently because of this failure to provide security. Is it the duty of... You see, we have gotten to a situation in Nigeria that Nigerians are practically providing everything for themselves.
Yes.
And such a time, this lady is spending her time in Christmas in prison when she wanted to engender hope to children and to the citizenry. It's very ironic.
Well, we'll be following that story for you. Finally, New Telegraph, again, it's a local story. By the way, most of the international papers are not available today. We are at work and
the international papers are on Christmas break, remember?
Right, they are. So, well, there is an international story on New Telegraph. Protests in Syria over Christmas tree burning. The demonstration started.
Oh dear,
yes,
here we go again.
In a Christian area in Damascus, after a video was circulated showing hooded fighters setting fire to a Christmas tree. This comes a little more than 2 weeks after an armed coalition of Islamists toppled the Bashir al-Assad regime. Again, this is a problem. There's always that issue of a country where you have a lot of Muslims and, substantial number of Christians as well. So you could have extremists trying to cause division. And especially when Bashir al-Assad was in power, he cast himself as the protector of the minorities. Now he's gone. There's serious concern whether this new government that came from Islamism will be able to protect everybody in the country irrespective of their religion.
If they are to gain international acceptance, then they have to also act responsibly. That's the word. They have to act responsibly.
I also heard that those who did the act of setting the Christmas trees on fire were extremist fighters from outside the country. And as you did say, when Assad was in power, he protected the minorities because he himself is from a minority group, the Alawites, who are just about maybe about 5 or 10% of the population. And they do have some very provoking beliefs. Like they are Muslims, but they believe in drinking. They drink alcohol and such. It's so unfortunate. Christians, just about 2% in Syria. And,
Okay, I'm afraid we have to leave it there. That's all we have for the paper review today. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Azikem, for joining us on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas.
I hope you enjoy your Christmas.
I do hope so. By God's grace.
And thank you so much, Dr. Constance. Second time around today. It's actually been, well, a very wonderful Christmas at work for us. And I hope it will continue that way when we'll leave the set. But that's all we have time for here on Daybreak. It's goodbye from me, Charles Eruka. Do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is up next.